Welcome everyone to the North Peninsula Democratic Club Candidates Forum for September 12th, 2015, relative to the San Mateo County general election on Tuesday, November 3rd. North Peninsula Democratic Club was chartered by the San Mateo County Democratic Central Committee on May 17th, 2007. We proudly serve Democrats in and around the cities of Brisbane, Daly City, Colma, South San Francisco, San Bruno, Millbrae, Burlingame, and Hillsborough. Democrats who are candidates in each service area in which there is a contested race were invited to participate in the Candidates Forum. 8 of 9 agencies and 15 candidates responded. For general information and to become a member, you can contact the North Peninsula Democratic Club, P.O. Box 399, Millbrae, California, 94030. Or you can email me, marge4millbrae @att.net. We're always happy to welcome Democrats as renewing and new members. I want to first introduce our moderator for today, the Honorable Gene Mullen, former Assemblyman for the former 19th District. I have a couple of acknowledgments that I would like to make. The first is to the Board of Directors of the North Peninsula Democratic Club, Pamela D. Gionani, Vice President, Sam Manna, Secretary, Ann Schneider, Treasurer, Sandra Lang, ex officio member, one of the original founders of the club. The Forum Subcommittee was Pamela D. Gionani, Sandra Lang, Robert Bernardo, and Vaughn Jones. We want to thank the Transport Workers Union of America, AFL-CIO Local 505, Mike Myers, President, Jennifer Platt, Vice President, Marcy Bruins, Financial Treasurer, for allowing us to use this assembly room today. Millbrae Community Television, MCTV, is here recording the forum. We thank their board of directors, the general manager, Andy Pittman, and our 2 producers with us today, Aaron Fellers and Andy Chan. The candidate forums may be viewed on demand beginning at 12 noon on Friday, September 16th at www.mctv.tv. You can click on the Watch menu for a list of 8 separate videos, 1 for each candidate's race. You may also watch your own interview or as many others that you wish. You can also search on YouTube for North Peninsula Democratic Candidate Forum 2015. You may post a link to your YouTube interview on your campaign website if you wish to do so. We're going to now go over to our Assemblyman Mullen, and he's going to talk about the process that we're going to follow today.
All right, thank you, Marge. And that was Marge Colapietro, who is the president of the North Peninsula Democratic Club and a currently sitting councilwoman from the city of Millbrae. And let me welcome Irene O'Connell and Michael Salazar, candidates for San Bruno City Council. This is the 3rd session we've had today. We began this morning with Brisbane council members and candidates, then Millbrae, and so now we're moving north to the city of San Bruno. The process is as follows. Each one of you will have a 1-minute period to make an opening statement, and there will be a timer. Marge is doing triple duty here today. That will give you indications of when your time is up. Then we will have 3 questions which I'll pose, and you'll have an opportunity to respond, and I'll alternate who gets the questions. If the spirit moves you, you can rebut the answer of the other person. Again, that's your choice, not mandatory. After we ask those 3 questions, which I just received this morning in a sealed envelopes, so they were not viewable to anybody but the authors of those questions. Then there'll be an opportunity for audience members to ask 2 additional questions, and you'll again have the same process, 1 minute to respond, rebuttal if necessary, and then we will conclude with your ability to make a closing statement of 1 minute. And in advance, let me thank you for being here this morning. It's a pleasure to see both of you. And we're going to begin, I'm going to begin with Irene O'Connell. You can make your opening statement. Welcome.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the North Peninsula Democratic Club for hosting this event. My name is Irene O'Connell. I'm running for re-election for the City Council of San Bruno. I was born and raised in San Bruno and have lived there my whole life. It was where my husband and I chose to raise our 3 children. The city of San Bruno has weathered a recession and a devastating pipeline explosion. Many lives have been forever changed, yet we remain a strong and vibrant community. The council has worked hard locally and nationally to prevent this type of disaster from ever happening again to anyone. With the recent passage of our Measure N, the upturn in the economy, and the new development downtown, we're looking at a bright future. For all our progress, there is still much to be done. We need to continue to invest wisely in our infrastructure and to replace our aging community buildings. We need to explore ways to use technology to work more efficiently and to engage our community more extensively. These are my goals for my city.
All right, thank you, Ms. O'Connell. Michael Salazar, you have your opening statement opportunity.
Thank you. My name is Michael Salazar, and I also want to thank the club for putting this together today. It's a wonderful opportunity. I'm about a 10-year, maybe 12-year resident of San Bruno, and in San Bruno time, that's a relatively short time, but I've managed to keep myself very involved in that period of time. Got involved right away when I moved to the town by running for mayor. I've served on a number of committees. I volunteer for my church, the school. I've coached youth sports in that time. And this is my 6th year on the council, having been appointed at the end of 2009. And I'm very much looking forward to another 4 years of serving the city.
Yeah, thank you very much. All right, now I'm going to reverse the order. The first question I'm going to pose to you, Michael. It is as follows. The city of San Bruno is looking at potentially purchasing license plate readers for its police department. Sounds like Los Altos. These readers will instantly scan and capture license plate data for the purposes of enhancing public safety. Some civil liberties groups are worried about the right to privacy. Would you please share with us your thoughts on license plate readers? Michael?
Yeah, I know that we've recently approved one license plate reader for the city, and we had taken advantage of some loaners that were available, I believe, from the county. And I understand why people would be concerned about privacy, but honestly, what these cameras do is just read license plates of cars that are in the public anyway, and so capturing that data really doesn't provide any intrusion. As long as your car is on the street, that license plate is visible to anyone, so I really don't see it as that much of an invasion.
Mrs. O'Connell?
I agree with Michael. We thought hard and long about doing this, but as he says, it's out in the public. We've already had some success with the police finding cars that were stolen in San Francisco. The police have arrested a couple of people that were involved in burglaries because they were able to read the license plates and find that the cars were being looked for somewhere else. So it's one of those touchy things, but I think we did our due diligence and made a good decision.
Okay, I guess. All right, second question, this will be initially to Mrs. O'Connell. The city is prepared to move ahead with the development of a 152-room hotel on 1.5 acres of vacant property near the intersection of Freeway 380 and Jack's Restaurant. Apparently, some residents feel that the city is not managing this property properly. Please share your thoughts on this particular issue. Ms. O'Connell? Thank
you. This started in 2001 when the part that was the Navy site, it was a 20-acre site, came up, and it was bought by a developer. It happened to be in our redevelopment area at the time. We made a specific plan for it. We put it out to the voters. We had an citizens advisory committee before that with a lot of input from people. And one of the things they really wanted was a hotel, not a motel, a first-class hotel. It was not the time in 2001. The bubble burst. And we sat on a lot of property for a long time before we finally got some developers interested in building a hotel. We haven't made any final decisions yet. We're still in negotiations. So any input that the people want to do, we will be having public input and public meetings, and we'll be happy to listen to everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Salazar.
I think one of the biggest criticisms of that development has been around what the city should contribute to the project, and the word corporate welfare has been thrown out. I think a better way to describe it, and something that you hear a lot about these days, is public-private partnership, and there are going to have to be some concessions in order to move forward, and I believe that the people that are raising the issues are making some very good points, and we would definitely need to be careful in how we approach this and do our homework and make sure that we are getting a good deal. But I believe that they are bringing some good points to light, and that we definitely don't want to give too much away, and we want to do a careful financial analysis and do what makes most sense for the long term.
Okay, thank you. Third question, and this goes back to Mr. Salazar. Would you please share your views on sustainable development as it relates to affordable housing that's being constructed in San Bruno? Sustainable development and affordable housing, how those two interact. Mr. Salazar?
So it's definitely a difficult situation, because even in San Bruno, we've seen housing prices going through the roof, and there are fewer and fewer opportunities for families to start out. And I believe that the City Council has been as proactive as possible in making sure that we are providing some level of affordable housing in the new developments, and considering opportunities with zoning changes to allow additional housing to be infilled in what we currently have. But there is, it's really hard to control the market, and I believe the entire Bay Area is sort of victim to that. But we are doing what we can to make sure that there is some stock of available low-cost housing.
Hey, Mrs. O'Connell?
We've always supported affordable housing. Unfortunately, how we did it was with redevelopment, and that's no longer there. We have still have affordable housing in our crossing development, and that is for seniors, and it's a 99-year lease. It'll be there for 99 years, so that's something positive. It is a tricky situation. It is market-driven. We have done a lot, as much as we could so far, to allow for people to do second units, to streamline the building permits for that. I know we intend to do more. We're dialoguing with the renters and the San Mateo County Real Estate Association, and looking for solutions for everybody.
All right, thank you. Those are our preordained questions. So now we have any unordained questions from the audience. Anybody care to pose questions to our two candidates? Well, I will. San Bruno has set up a foundation with the monies that have been provided by PG&E in the wake of that disaster, and I think it's in the $60 million bracket, or is it $80 million?
70.
70. Well, I bracketed the amount. Can you tell us your particular thoughts on how some of those monies should be expended? I know there is a foundation board and all, but from your perspective, how would you like to see those funds expended over a period of time? Starting with you, Mrs. O'Connell.
Thank you. I think the board is doing a fabulous job. They started with no foundation, really. That's a funny word, but anyway, they started with no precedent. There's not a foundation like them anywhere in the United States, so they took a long time to get their feet on the ground, so to speak. They recently finished a public survey and listening campaign, and the things that came out of that are really no surprise to the City Council. They're things that we would like done. The results, in no particular order, were for a community library building, a new swimming pool with a year-round swimming pool, some kind of scholarship position, funding, and I can't remember what the third thing was. But in general, it's the same things that the council is looking forward to doing.
More projects than money.
Yes, there's always more projects than money.
Mr. Salazar?
So I pushed really hard for the foundation to be independent of the City Council, because I did want their activities to be community-focused and grassroots, and not biased by projects that the council felt or the city felt were important. And the listening campaign that they've done recently really got to the root of that, and some of the projects that came out of that, as Irene mentioned, are very community focused, and we know for sure that these are the projects that the residents want, and so I'm on board with doing what the community wants, and they've spoken, and so we're fully in support of it.
Okay, thank you. Other questions from other members? Okay, one last quickie. Since redevelopment has gone, and I think, according to the TV last night at about 11:30, I think the substitute RDA bill didn't garner the correct number of votes, so there's going to be no substitute, at least for another year. Do you have any sense of affordable housing as being mandated to new developments coming in? Obviously, you don't have the legal authority to do it, court decisions and the end of redevelopment. But the bully pulpit of the City Council, is there anything you can do to upgrade the number of units that may be affordable from new housing developments coming in? It's a convoluted question, but it gives you an opportunity to talk a little bit about affordable housing again. Irene?
Thank you. We're waiting to see what the latest Palmer Act prickles through. San Jose championed having inclusionary housing in their buying stock, unfortunately not in the rental stock yet, and we're supportive of that. We're excited that is going forward. So, that's a tool. We're looking at development fees to supplement the affordable housing monies that we do have left over from redevelopment. We do work with the Shelter Network and HIP Housing and HEART, which is the county foundation to do affordable housing. We also have an employee program that helps with first and second mortgages. So we try. There's no easy solution, as you know.
Thank you. Mr. Salazar?
I would have to agree with what Irene said. There are a lot of things that we participate in a lot of the larger areas efforts in doing that. I had a thought and I just lost it.
If I see it, I'll grab it.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. 30 seconds. That didn't help. I think, I'm sorry, I completely lost my train of thought. Sorry.
That's all right. You can recapture it in your closing statement, and each one of you is going to have 1 minute to sort of wrap up your thoughts about running for, in both cases, re-election to the San Bruno City Council. And so we'll switch gears and going to put you right back on the spot, Mr. Salazar. Your closing statement for 1 minute. Thank you.
Okay. So I've enjoyed my time on the council. I feel I've been an effective representative of the residents, and I believe I've brought a lot of professionalism. I helped elevate some of the conversations. We continue to be a very cohesive council, and while I constantly raise new questions and make sure that we are engaging in conversations, I believe we still do it in a very collegiate way, and we continue to get along well and make better decisions, and I believe that's what's going to carry the city forward.
Thank you. And Mrs. O'Connell?
Thank you. I would like to thank my family and supporters for these last 20 years that I've been on the City Council. I'd like to do 4 more to finish up some other things and to keep prodding the city along. We do need to look at technology more to see how we can be more effective in the workplace as well as connecting with the community. It's amazing the things we have done. We got BART Underground. We have a new train. Seeing the 30 seconds is like, oh. We have a new grade separation. We have an Art and Cultural Commission that I started. We have a thing called the Beautification Task Force that I started to do an Operation Clean Sweep. There's a lot of things more to do, but I think we've made some progress. So again, I'd like to thank you, and yes, I agree with Michael, we do work well together.
Well, I want to thank both of you for excellent presentations on the outlook for you and the city of San Bruno. I would strongly recommend that you look to YouTube to take your presentations and put them on your websites if you indeed have websites. The technology almost demands it, I guess, these days. But this is also good experience. I think you'll probably wind up with other candidates forums. I know the League of Women Voters almost always has a candidate forum, and so we want to thank you for sharing this morning your expertise with us, and wish you both good luck in the race to come. Thank you.
Thank you.